Hello everyone and welcome to Power Rangers Stories. Here I bring you the untold and what could have been stories. So sit back, relax and get ready to listen to some more phenomenal adventures. Also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell to get notifications on the latest videos. And may the power protect you. Ninja Storm, the Pink Ninja Ranger. Chapter 31, Storm Before the Calm, Part 2. Previously, Zoey swore under her breath when the Rangers finally got back to Ninja Ops, her anger barely controlled. Not again. What happened? Shane yelled, horrified at the scene in front of them. Everything was destroyed. The walls had collapsed, computers shattered, and small fires everywhere. It's trashed. Dustin exclaimed, staring wide-eyed at the scene in front of him. Hearing Reina start cursing in Spanish again, he shook his head and wrapped his arms around her. No. Tori breathed. Cam? Sensei? Cybercam? Shane yelled. Where are they? Don't worry, they'll be here somewhere, Dustin said, as they walked around, looking under the wreckage for any sign of their friend and Sensei. They have to be. Tori said, if anyone can survive this, it's them, she nodded. I don't understand. What happened? Andy looked around the room confused, how did this happen? Seeing Jenna's look of anguish, he walked over to her, what is it? Memories. What memories? Shane asked, looking concerned as Zoey just held up a hand to make him stop. Not right now. We need to focus. She took a deep breath, I need to focus. Closing her eyes, she sent out a small wave of pink energy out of her body. Looking at it, she nodded her head, find them. The energy wave shifted shape and turned into Vixie. The little fox started speeding through Ops, looking for survivors. This can't be how it ends, Shane grunted, pushing a piece of the wall up as best as he could. Andy walked over to help, and they were able to move it to the side. After the first initial shock, the Rangers had calmed down enough that they were moving debris, looking for signs of their friends. Zoey had sent her fox, Vixie, to search beyond the main room. She hadn't been gone long when they heard a voice from the entrance. Whoa, what happened here? They looked around as Hunter spoke, walking in with his brother. They looked around, trying to assess the damage. You guys made it. Dustin grinned as everyone hurried over to the Thunder Rangers, we thought you'd be toast for sure. Jenna started crying again as she ran her hands over Hunter, trying to make sure he was okay. Vexicus torched the Thunder Megazord, so we ejected it, Blake nodded, are you going to let him breathe? He asked, looking at his brother, now lip-locked with the Purple Ranger. Jenna backed up and punched the Navy Ranger in the arm, shut up, Blake. Ow. He complained, rubbing his arm, she hits harder than you, Hunter. I know. Isn't it great? Hunter grinned down at his girlfriend, who seemed to be glued to his side, where's Cam? He asked, looking around. Don't know, Shane answered, shrugging. Sensei? Hunter frowned. Lothor got here before we did, Dustin shrugged, his arm around Reina. We were too late, Shane nodded. Better late than never, I always say. They looked around as Sensei walked in, with Vexie in the lead, now in his human form again. Sensei. The three Wind Rangers ran over and hugged their teacher, glad he was still alive. You're okay. He smiled, returning their embrace. It's good to see you, Hunter nodded, as he and the others walked over, finally. Yeah, you're like, totally normal. Dustin grinned widely. Lothor's energy blast reversed the transmutation, and allowed me to return to my human form, Sensei explained, nodding greetings to everyone. Well, if we didn't already know it, you can definitely tell that you and Lothor are twins. Reina grinned widely, wincing when Jenna slapped her on the shoulder. But where's Cam? Tori asked, frowning. Sensei's own smile fell as he looked down, he has been captured. He said, fearing for his son's safety. "We'll get him back, Sensei," Tori promised. "It will not be easy, Tori," Sensei shook his head. "My darkest fears have come to pass. Lothor is preparing to open the abyss of evil," he said, grimly. "Are you serious?" Blake asked, looking concerned. "I thought that was just ninja folklore." "It is no coincidence that Blue Bay Harbor is home to the Wind Ninja Academy," Sensei told him. "We are the guardians to an invisible gateway. A gateway that is once opened, will allow all the evil that has been imprisoned there, from across the history of time, to escape. The Winter Academy gets Santa's workshop and we get the abyss of evil." Dustin threw his hands up. "How does that happen? Why hasn't Lothor opened it before now?" Shane asked, ignoring his friend. "The abyss can only be opened when it is filled to capacity," Sensei told him. "Even then, it can only be opened by a mighty force." "The samurai amulet," Zoe said, taking Vixie back into her. "Yes," Sensei nodded. "I believe Lothor intends to use Cam's powers to open the abyss and allow the army of evil to enter our world," he said, leaving everyone in stunned silence. "We have to stop the abyss from opening," Shane said, breaking the silence. Everyone sat around, trying to figure out what to do. "There has to be a way." "We need help," Blake spoke. "Ninja help. Where are we gonna find that?" Shane asked skeptically. "Lothor's ship." Hunter turned to look at them. "Every ninja on the planet is locked up there." "Not all of them," Andy said, causing everyone to look at him. "That Lightning Academy is untouched. Lothor can't get to it. Same with the Winter Academy." Jenna nodded. "Yeah, but could they get here in time?" Reyna asked, looking concerned. "It doesn't hurt to try." Zoe walked over. "Andy and Reyna can go to the Temple of Power. Talk to their sensei. See how many lightning ninjas they can get to come help. And I can go to the Winter Academy. Speak to Sensei Yuki. Explain what's going on. She'll want to help." "I know." Jenna nodded when Sensei looked over with a smile of approval. "We could take the Dragon Force vehicle to the ship." Dustin realized, while they go to their academies, we can go to the ship to retrieve the rest. He pointed to the room. "Wait." Hunter stood up. "Blake and I should go alone," he said, forestalling any arguments. "We've been on his ship. We know where to look." "Not alone," Zoe said, standing beside him. "Not after what happened the last time you were there. I'll go with you. Jenna, you go to the Winter Academy, like you said. Reyna and Andy, get to Angel Grove. Talk to your sensei." She looked at the Wind Rangers. "You three stay here, handle anything sent to Earth." Everyone nodded in agreement. "The Dragon Force vehicle is in the Zord Bay," Sensei spoke, standing at the bookshelf. "Be careful. And thank you for your courage," he smiled at them. "You can thank us when we come back," Blake smiled. Jenna hugged Hunter first, then Zoe. "Be careful." "We will. And may the power protect you. We don't have much time before this place self-destructs." Chuba whined as he ran past with a group of Kelzacks. "Let's get out of here." "Great," Blake muttered, as the three rangers hid beside a wall, a ticking clock on top of everything else. "Ranger luck." Zoe crossed her arms, ignoring the looks the boys sent her. "We better find Cam." Hunter nodded, leading the way. Running through the ship, they came to the main room. "This way." "Cam." Seeing the samurai ranger tied up, they hurried over to help him down. They went right past Mara and Capri, who let out cries of help. "Thanks guys," Cam nodded as they released him from the wall. "Hey." Mara's yell made them look over. "Hello? You can't just leave us here." "Why shouldn't we?" Hunter asked. They panicked, trying to come up with a reason. Because their family, Cam's side, provided them with a reason. And we're not the bad guys. That's not what we do. Zoe walked over, glaring at the sisters, and burned their ropes away. Let's go. As they were freed, an explosion rocked the ship, throwing around. We gotta get out of here, Blake yelled, getting back to his feet. Tell me how to release the ninja student pods, Cam demanded, looking at his cousins. Hey, cousin, do you know the Yellow Ranger? I was just wondering, is he still mad at me? 'Cause I think he's really cute and... Don't even think about it, bughead. Zoe glared at her from across the room, and you're already treading water with a certain white ranger, so back off. He's taken. Can we talk about this later? Cam glared, shoving them forward before they bumped into something. Or someone. They turned around to Chubo standing at the entrance. Hello? Going somewhere, he laughed, pushing them back inside. Oh, I see you have some new friends, he exclaimed as Kelzax came in the room. This should be fun. For old time's sake? Hunter looking at Zoe and his brother. Oh yeah, Blake nodded. Wouldn't have it any other way. Zoe nodded, ready to kick some more butt. Firestorm. Thunderstorm. Ranger form, they morphed and, calling on their weapons, starting attacking the Kelzax. Zoe headed over to help Cam, who didn't morph with them. Hey, Cam. She said, kicking a Kelzac away from the genius, you know, you could morph. It might be easier. I could. He said, throwing a Kelzac away from the sisters, but I can't. Lothor took my amulet. That makes sense. She flipped over, slashing 3 of them back, since he's probably planning on using it to open the abyss of evil. The ship shuddered as the self-destruct started to really kick in. Hey, cousin, Mara came over. If you blow that console, it'll short out all the ship's main operating systems and release the ninja students. Zoe looked over at her in shock. You're really not dumb, Cam said, looking at his cousin. Yeah, I know, I keep telling people that, but no one ever listens to me. There's a reason for that, Mara. Zoe patted her on the shoulder, but, since you're helping us, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The ship shook, knocking them down. Hunter. Blake. Cam yelled, you've gotta blow the console. He pointed to the main console, and they nodded. Right. The 2 ran over and combined their weapons, Thunder Blaster. Fire. They blasted the machine, releasing all the captive ninjas. Chubo and the last of the Kelzacs disappeared just as the ship started to come apart, causing more explosions around them. We've gotta get out of here, Zoe yelled as they ran for the exit. The ceiling collapsed, blocking them in. Cam. Any ideas? 1. He held up a remote and typed in a code, teleporting now. They all disappeared and reappeared in the Dragon Force vehicle, taking off just as the ship exploded. Taste your defeat, Lothor declared. Never. Shane yelled as a power sphere shot out and collided with the evil Zord, causing it to erupt in a shower of sparks. The Storm Megazord got back up, only for Lothor to grab them, just as their Zord exploded, forcing the 3 to eject. The Megazord, it's gone, Shane cried out. They ran over to the abyss of evil, their visors opening as they looked down at the glowing purple coming out of it. What's happening? I don't know, Tori shook her head. The ground started to shake, right before it burst open, freeing all the trapped spirits inside. They landed, materializing in front of the Rangers. Not good, Dustin gulped. They're back, Shane growled, facing the generals. They recognized every one of the monsters as they laughed, before parting to the side to let Lothor through. How does it feel to fail, Rangers? He asked, mocking them. You should know, Shane yelled, making Lothor laugh. Not this time, he told them. Ready? Shane asked. They nodded. They took a step forward, closing their visors, and drew their swords. Destroy them, Lothor ordered, sending every monster forward. The Rangers ran to meet them halfway, blocking and attacking whatever came into range. No matter what they did, or who they took down, there was another monster ready to take its place. They lost their weapons and were thrown together, finally surrounded. The Rangers got back to their feet, ready to end this, no matter what. As the army closed in on them, a crimson blast shot out and sent several monsters flying back. They looked up to see Hunter fly overhead on his glider cycle. "Mind if I play too?" he called down to them. "You will never stop me," Lothor roared. "But we will," Blake called out. They spun around to see the Navy Rangers standing with Zoey and ninjas from Lothor's ship. "So will we." They looked over to see multiple ninja streaks land in a flash of lightning. There stood Andy and Reyna with the entire Lightning Academy at their backs. "Don't forget about us." Jenna and the Winter Academy came in from the other side, smirking, ready to take down Lothor, once and for all. "Awesome." Dustin cheered as Hunter landed beside them. "Battleizer." Shane called on his armor, ready to do some real damage. "Kelzax." Shubo arrived with every remaining Kelzak, ready to aid their master. "We're ready, sir." "Attack." Lothor ordered, sending everything he had to the fight. "Fire ninjas." Zoey yelled, getting her academy's attention. "Throw them back into the abyss. Show these freaks why it's not smart to mess with the Flame Academy." They nodded, taking orders to heart. All the other ninjas joined in, tossing monster after monster back into the pit. "Hey, you," she said, landing beside Jenna. "That didn't take you very long." "I think that was my fastest time yet," the Purple Ranger nodded. Sensei Yuki didn't hesitate. She dispatched everyone, immediately. "Same with Sensei Raikou," Reyna said, as she and Andy flipped over Footzilla. They sent some lightning at him, sending him back into the abyss. "That one was freaky. Just be glad you weren't here for the initial fight." "What a pain," Jenna said, causing Zoey to nod in agreement. Shane took to the air nearby, blasting his battleizer and taking out all of the resurrected generals. Looking on in anger, Lothor shot an energy blast at Shane, destroying the battleizer. Shane fell out of the sky, landing on a stack of hay. Shane, the Rangers ran over to help him up. They turned to face Lothor as he landed behind them. While the other ninjas took care of the last of Lothor's army, the Rangers ran at him, ready to finish it. Once and for all. They worked together to try and take him down, but Lothor was faster and more powerful. He easily knocked them all back with every blow he made. Really makes you wonder why he sent anyone down here in the first place. Andy muttered, "I mean, do the bad guys even think about that sort of thing?" "Please don't jinx future Ranger teams." Zoey shoved him aside, avoiding a blast Lothor sent at them. "We really don't want to cause any problems for them." Lothor sent another power blast at the fallen Earth and Water Rangers, but Shane stepped in the way, protecting them. He seemed to block it through a sheer force of will, falling to the ground as he had used every ounce of strength to withhold it. "Enough," Lothor roared furiously. "It's time to finish you all," he declared, holding the samurai amulet over his head. "Give me those ranger powers." Holding it out, the amulet absorbed Hunter and Blake's powers, making them demorph, and they crashed to the ground. "Hunter." "Blake." Zoey and Jenna ran over just as Lothor sent another blast of the amulet at the Lightning Rangers. "No." Reyna and Andy fell back, losing their powers as well. Lothor smirked. "Nothing can stop the power of the amulet," he laughed. The girls looked at each other and was fixing to charge him when a voice called out. "I believe that belongs to me." Cam called as he landed nearby, moving into a fighting stance as Lothor looked around quickly. "Not anymore," he smirked, and sent Cam, flying with a powerful attack. Laughing, Lothor leapt through the air and landed in front of the fallen samurai. "Goodbye, nephew," he smirked down at him. "Cam." Zoey and Jenna stood up, combing their weapons. Arctic flame shot. The blast, meant for Lothor, was absorbed by the amulet, and was shot back out to take the girls' powers. They went flying back and was caught by the thunders hitting the ground. Lothor turned back to Cam, only for Shane, Tori and Dustin to jump in the way. "He's not going anywhere, got it?" Shane yelled at him as Lothor frowned. "Fine, then I'll take you in his place." Lothor then drained them of their energy as well, and the three fell to the ground, demorphing. All the Rangers stood back up and regrouped. "You fools!" Lothor yelled, "Haven't you had enough?" he demanded. He blasted them back off their feet, but they all got back up, and fell into fighting stances. Zoey stepped forward and, combining the light around her with her fox fire, sent a massive energy blast at Lothor, sending him back. He stayed on his feet and shot another laser blast at them. When they stood up again, Lothor growled in frustration. "Let's finish this," he yelled, right before the Rangers each took a turn to attack him. He took them out, one by one. Leaping into the air, he landed in front of the abyss, smirking at the Wind Rangers, who were separated from the others. "I have your Ranger powers. You are at my mercy, once and for all," he told them. "We won't let you win," Shane said, standing his ground. "What can you do to me, without your powers?" Lothor asked. "We may not be Power Rangers, but we still have powers." Shane yelled. "Power of air. Power of earth. Power of water. Ninja powers." The three Rangers called on their ninja powers, causing the wind to pick up around Lothor, who looked around with wide eyes. "No," he screamed as they sent their elemental energy attacks out, slamming into him. He was tossed backwards, straight into the abyss, which exploded and closed. After a moment of stunned silence, the Rangers regrouped, gathering around the abyss. "What happened?" Tori asked, seeing the ninjas from the academies join them as well. "Lothor's evil, it must have overloaded the abyss," Zoey realized, causing it to implode on itself. Cam finished with a nod. "So he's gone?" Dustin asked, looking at the samurai. "Really gone?" "I believe so," Cam nodded. "And our Ranger powers?" Hunter asked as he glanced to his morpher. "They're gone too," Shane realized, looking down at his morpher. "Check it." Hunter grinned, clapping as Blake and Dustin joined the others, minus Cam and Shane, at Kelly's van. The US Action Games had resumed, and the boys were victorious. 3rd place. "That's awesome." Tori smiled. "Yeah, my boy came through." Blake clapped their friend on the shoulder with a grin. "I'm so glad you changed to freestyle," Kelly smiled. "You have a real career ahead of you," she told him, and Dustin's smile grew. "You guys." They all looked around as Shane ran over to them. "You won't believe this." "You know the guys from Truth Trucks?" he asked. "Who doesn't?" Zoey asked, curious. "Anyone who doesn't follow skateboarding," Raina said, holding hands with Dustin. "They want to sponsor me," he told them, rolling his eyes at the girls. "What? That's great. A national tour and everything," he grinned. "What did you tell them?" Kelly asked curiously, and Shane hesitated, before shaking his head. "Shane Clark," Sensei called out. The air ninja walked forward to receive his graduation scroll, unable to contain his smile, bowed and walked away. "Tori Hansen," Sensei continued, and Tori stepped forward just like Shane, and grinned. She took her scroll, bowed respectively, and stepped down to stand next to her friend. Dustin Brooks, the Earth Ninja, went next, bowing with a smirk, and bounded down the stairs, hugging his friends as he joined them. Blake couldn't hide his own grin as Sensei Amino watched, nodding stiffly as his adopted son accepted his scroll. Hunter Bradley, his brother, joined him, humbly accepting his scroll and bowing in honor. Andrew Park, Sensei Raikou smiled proudly as the Lightning Ninja took his scroll and bowed, graduating with honors from the Lightning Academy. Reina de Santos, she jumped in excitement as she accepted her scroll. Bowing in gratitude, she walked over and joined her friends. Zoe and Jenna clapped as they stood beside the lightning sensei, happy for their friends. And finally, Cam Watanabe, sensei couldn't hide his own proud smile as his son walked up and bowed to him, collecting his scroll before joining the others. A round of applause was resounding from the audience. You have all earned the badge of honor, that is to graduate from the Wind Ninja Academy. I could not be prouder of you. Of the sacrifices you have made for your school, and indeed, for your planet. He nodded his head in honor to the graduates. The world is a better place today, because of you. He said. They cheered, hugging each other as the girls joined them. Zoe. If we might have a word? The fire ninja looked over in surprise as Sensei Watanabe stood with Senseis Amino, Reka, Yuki and Raikou. Sure. She walked over, hesitantly. What can I help you with? Sensei Watanabe had informed me of some gems that your brother had found. Sensei Raikou spoke up, and a couple of these gems have affected you and Jenna Scott. Is this correct? He asked, looking curious. Yes, sir. It is. Is that a problem? She asked defensively. Of course not. He does not mean to imply as such. Sensei Reka elbowed the lightning sensei in the side, but we do have something for you. I apologize, Zoe. I should have told you and Jenna sooner, but I needed to speak with the other senseis first. Sensei Watanabe spoke up. It was something we needed to agree on. Okay. What's going on? Sensei Raikou held out a small wooden box. We would like for you to take this to your brother. Zoe took it and opened it to reveal a green gem. What? She looked up. Where did this come from? This gem has been in the possession of the Lightning Academy since its inception. Sensei Raikou continued, the great Ninjor had entrusted it to us for safekeeping. However, when Sensei Watanabe informed us of your gems and your brother, we approached Ninjor about giving it to you. He was hesitant. At first, Sensei Amino interjected, with great reason. But, when Sensei Raikou mentioned the Oliver name, he changed his mind. He recognized your brother as a former ranger, and approved giving the gem over to him. What better protection than with a ranger legend? Sensei Yuki asked, smiling. Thank you. I will make sure he gets it. I am very proud of you, Zoe. Sensei Reka hugged her. I knew I chose right. Zoe was walking around the academy, looking for Jenna, when she saw Andy and Jenna spying on Tori and Blake. Ninja streaked over, she snuck up behind them. Kelzax. They both jumped and got into defensive moves, causing the former Pink Ranger to burst out laughing. Tori and Blake, who heard, came over to see what was going on. Hello? Tori asked, crossing her arms. Sorry, Tor. I saw them watching you guys, and I had to. She grinned, I couldn't help it. It's ingrained in me. Why were you two spying on us? Blake asked, crossing his own arms. We were waiting to see if you two would finally admit your feelings for one another. Reina said, unashamed. Andy was shuffling his feet, blushing. Everyone started walking again. Did you? Zoe smirked at the unofficial couple. It's none of your business. Tori huffed. They admitted they'll miss each other. He invited her to watch his races, and she kissed him on the cheek. Reina stopped at the looks she was getting. What? I have good hearing. I can't believe this. Hunter panted as he and Jenna ran over to them. Sensei Amino just asked me to be the head teacher at the Thunder Ninja Academy. That's great. Tori said, smiling. Yep. And the Thunder Academy is a little closer to Reefside, so it'll be easier for us to visit. Jenna grinned, hugging her boyfriend. Just keep the PDA away from Tommy. You know how he gets. Zoey rolled her eyes. Besides, you're both going to be busy. Between his teaching at the academy and your studies and TA position at the school, how often are you going to get to see each other? As often as we can. Jenna nodded her head. Not to mention constant text messages and nightly phone calls. Hey, guys, you ready to do this? Shane and Dustin caught up to the group, and they nodded. Cam stood at the entrance of the Wind Ninja Academy, listing off the new students as they passed him. How's it going? Zoey asked, as she walked up with Jenna. Pretty good. Looks like we have some great potential coming in. The samurai nodded. That's great. The girl's smile dropped as Mara and Capri stood under the entry arch. You're kidding, Cam sighed. Hello? Family, right? Capri grinned at him. Seriously, Zoey grinned at Jenna, who smirked. Do you two know how to be good? We're trying. Capri exclaimed, we're a work in progress. Cut us some slack. Cam, we really have to talk about these outfits, 'cause this makes my butt look really big. Mara complained to Cam as he shook his head. Capri rolled her eyes. Not as big as your head, she muttered. The pair began bickering, walking off as Cam sighed. Damn. Jenna threw her hands up. Where was Raina for that comment? I don't know, but she's going to be pissed. The girls nodded in agreement. It is a shame one cannot choose one's family, Sensei smiled as he joined them, who both looked exhausted from the brief encounter with the pair. I'm just glad I don't have to feed mine guinea pig food anymore, Kim smiled to his father as the last of the students walked in. They heard a shout coming from the hill. Hey! Hold up! They looked over to see 3 new students climbing up to the entrance. You 3? Cam, Zoey, and Jenna demanded as they stared at the 3 teens who had attempted to help them fight off the Kelzacks when they had first attacked the action games. Ninjas, dude, the taller boy said, grinning as he caught his breath. The blonde girl rolled her eyes. No one says dude anymore, she told him, and the 3 walked off as the pair started arguing. I still say dude. Jenna muttered. Me too. Zoey frowned at the 3 newbies. Can I beat on them? I call the blonde. Dad, I don't think I have it in me to go through this again, he admitted. Then perhaps we should leave their training. To the 3 new teachers, Sensei smiled, and they looked over to where Shane, Tori, and Dustin emerged, wearing Sensei robes in the respective colors. A happy ending is nothing more than a new beginning, Sensei told them as Cam couldn't help but smile at the 3, who bowed back. Besides, one should never break up a winning team, Sensei laughed as Hunter, Blake, Andy, and Raina joined them, complimenting the 3 on their new garbs. That's it for Chapter 31 of Ninja Storm, the Pink Ninja Ranger. I'll be having a lot more of this series out soon, continuing the Pink Ranger story. Remember, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. As always, may the power protect you, and see you for the next adventure.